has a great deal of information with regard to Perdido River and Perdido Bay. Has been battling that.
Can't hear you.
Has been battling that issue for decades now. So she's going to share some of her wisdom with us.
Well, bad news is, Gloria, that we're all disenfranchised. None of us have enough money here to fight. None of us. White folks, black folks, whatever, Mexican folks, none of us have enough money to fight big industry in this country. I'm sorry. That is the bottom line. For 30 years, we have worked on Perdido Bay, Friends of Perdido Bay, to clean up the bay. It has one polluter, a big paper mill. But these big polluters have huge amounts of political power and money. And we had, I mean, it was so obvious. It's so obvious on our bay. It's a little bay that does not flush. It's a little bay that does not flush. It has been harmed since 1940 by this massive polluter. And they have never been made to clean up. Never. The paper industry, you not only have the paper industry, you have all the people that grow trees for the paper industry. All these managed forests in the South are basically managed to feed the paper mills. I mean, these people have enormous power. Then you have the chemical industry that has been, 60,000 pounds a day of sodium, chlorine, massive amounts of chemicals go into these big paper mills. So you have all of this influence. These paper mills do whatever they want, really. They make it look like they're sort of environmentally green or something, but they're not at all. These guys have not, these big paper companies have not cleaned up for years. And the government has allowed it to happen. I mean, that's it. They have allowed it to happen. But Perdido Bay, of course, it's a little bay, and it's got this massive polluter, this massive paper mill, and it has really very low development. Of course, now we have 15 million gallons a day of ECUAF fluid going into our bay.
How much?
15 million gallons. We've got 5 million from Biomarcus plant. And then we've got 10 million that's being pumped up the hill from the central plant there by Monsanto. It's being pumped up to dilute, get this, dilute the paper effluent. The paper effluent is toxic. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And the thing is, when we first got involved, there was dioxin, the big dioxin issue. And it was, it was really bad. And the local DEP or DER at that time had just allowed this paper mill up here to go to 100% bleach.
What?
Yeah, they allowed it to happen. Go ahead. You can go to 100% bleach paper. The St. Regis company made brown paper bags. They also made some bleach. But in 1984, Champion came in with a good proposal. They were going to do this new bleaching process, delignification. So the DEP allowed them to go ahead and produce 100% bleach paper. Well, that produced just a massive amount of dioxin. It started showing up in the creeks, in the turtles, in the fish, in Perdido Bay. But that was never really a big topic. They never put a big sign up on Perdido Bay and said, this bay is totally toxic and polluted. So we were all swimming in it. My children grew up swimming in that dioxin-laden water. And the DEP just never said, well, we're studying it. Okay, so what happened? And I blame both parties for this. Both parties are at blame, the Democrats and the Republicans. Republicans worse than the Democrats, but they're...
Disagree.
Huh?
I said disagree.
Yep. Huh? What did
I just said I disagree, if you're gonna say.
Well, I'm not gonna get into politics, but
This
it's
is
always
politics.
It's always politics.
It's politics.
It's
It's
all-
money is politics. These are Republicans with the money, Citizens United, voting for the polluters.
Yeah, but the Clinton administration, okay, we were fighting for, the Clinton administration allowed the paper industry to go to a bleaching process, chlorine dioxide, okay?
Republicans were in charge of Congress.
Huh?
Republicans were in charge of Congress when Bill was president.
That's true. That's true. There's a lot of politics. In the
Yeah,
104th Congress, we had, you know, the Newt Gingriches and all this, and
Yeah,
they
he wasn't-
were cutting the EPA's budget as fast as they could cut it. Yeah, but what happened? The Clinton administration allowed the paper mill to go to chlorine dioxide bleaching. Now this stuff, you wonder why your grass beds are disappearing? This stuff is herbicidal, absolutely herbicidal. I was doing some studies in the Bay at the time with little snails growing scum algae on glass plates, and all of a sudden one summer I couldn't get it to grow. Nothing would grow. All the grass beds were turning red. This stuff is herbicidal. They're still using it. They're still using this herbicidal product. What happened? The EPA got these 3 studies from the paper industry saying, oh no, this stuff works fine. It didn't. They weren't using it in Europe. They went to totally chlorine-free bleaching in Europe. But here, so Perdido Bay, ever since 1995 and since 2000, international paper is horrible. We've had no plankton, hardly any plankton. We don't see any mullet. We don't see any anchovies. The bay is really lifeless. Although ever since they had the explosion, we've had. We're starting to see a little bit of algae growing on our seawalls now because it's not, it's not 100. They're not running full tilt anymore. Okay. The environmental agencies, both DEP and EPA, have known about this for years. It's been.
Well, you're not gonna have to worry about them, we're getting ready to
Okay,
do stuff.
why don't you let her finish the talk?
So we're not. Enforcement is a huge problem. They've never enforced anything. The paper mill, but the only thing is the paper mill. It's now International Paper. Has been operating since 1986 on a consent order. Now the state of Florida, a consent order is a promise to clean up. So for how many years is that? 30 years. They have not really had a valid permit. All they've had is this promise to clean up. And this was a good one. Back when Jeb Bush was governor, his environmental director was David Strews. David Strews was head of DEP. So they had this big deal. They were going this big plan, public-private partnerships, and they had this plan. They were taking the international paper effluent, piping it to a wetland, and letting it flow over the wetland into Perdido Bay. It was still coming out into Perdido Bay. So this was going to clean up Perdido Bay. This was going to, this was the big plan, ECOA actually owns the pipeline because it was a public-private partnership through the ECOA. ECOA was discharging some of their effluent with international paper into the wetlands. Well, that didn't work. But David Strews became International Paper's vice president. So he made sure he shepherded that little plan right through the government, right through the EPA. That's what we've got now. We have got International Paper's 10-mile pipeline. It no longer discharges into 11 Mile Creek, discharges into a wetland. It's killed 90% of the trees in the wetland, as you would expect. It's a herbicidal. And
You know which wetland it is?
it actually belongs to International Paper. It's a 1,200-acre wetland just to the, I guess, west of 11 Mile Creek. It actually, part of the effluent enters 11 Mile Creek in the lower part, and part of it enters these little beautiful little marsh lakes that are just have been turned into sludge ponds by the paper industry.
Jackie,
Yeah.
can I inject one little thing about your story, which is such a good story, but there's an important point that you forgot to tell them about
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
When that happened, ECUA still had the Main Street plant, and they had been violating their permit for years and years and years. And an ECUA board member told me this. DEP came to them and they said, okay, here's what you're going to do if you don't want us to take enforcement action against you in a big, bad way. You're going to borrow $60 million, was it, or $20 million?
Yeah, I didn't know this.
Huge amount of money, $20 or $60 million in industrial revenue bonds or something like that they could get, because they're a utility, they could get them either for really cheap or no interest or some special loan. You're going to borrow the money to pay for this system, which I would not call a wetland. I went there when they before they built it, and it was a hillside.
That's right.
And they created what they called wetlands by terracing this hillside. The vice president of International Paper took me on a tour and tried to convince me, because I was suing them at the time, that this was such a great idea. So DEP, David Strews, took ECUA like this and said, you will borrow this money to pay for this scheme of creating this hillside wetland and this pipe that Jackie mentioned that will bring effluent up here that you're going to spray on your trees, or you're going to make up some excuse why you need this effluent. So there's a justification for borrowing this money, or else we're going to take big bad enforcement action against you. And International Paper did not have to start paying that. They got 20 years to pay their part of this, and they didn't even have to start paying it until about 10 years ago. So it was like a sweetheart deal from heaven for International Paper. ECUA, you know, got the shaft, and the ratepayers, of course, paid for it. And then as soon as this whole deal was finalized and in place, then David Strews became vice president of International Paper immediately.
Yeah, it was definitely a sweetheart deal. This is by the government, our government. This is it was to get International Paper a permit, more or less. But of course, they don't have a permit. They still are operating on a consent order, promised to clean up. They were trying to get alternative water quality criteria for the wetland. I don't think they're going to get it, but they can't anyhow because they've killed all the trees in the wetland. So maybe they should have another explosion up there. But anyhow, the problem is, these are powerful people that have done incredible damage. And the interesting thing is, not only, I mean, they're still putting out dioxin, they're still putting out, I mean, all these toxic chemicals, 20,000 pounds a day, 20,000, just like that, 20,000 pounds a day of chemical oxygen demand, chemicals that suck in oxygen. They're putting these in to the wetlands and into the bay. The wetlands have done nothing, really. Then these sludges that the paper mill puts out, these 10,000 pounds a day of what they call solids. Paper mills are famous for this gunk that they put out. They have never been made to clean up. And unfortunately, the policies of this country are changing, the environmental policies, under the influence of big money. Because these conventional pollutants like BOD, the sludges and so forth, they're no longer important. The industry doesn't, the agencies, the environmental agencies don't even care about them anymore. So, this is the problem we are facing. This country is lurching to the right. We are going to lose a lot of our good quality of life. And it's because of money. It's because the money is driving the political scene here. And I mean, it's a shame, it's too bad. But if you want to read about 30 years of what we've been trying to do on Perdido Bay, I've written this book, Perdido Bay Blues. And I have a couple copies here. It's $10 here. If you buy it on Amazon, it's $12.50 on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon too. But I've got
Boycott
it.
Amazon.
Huh?
I'm boycotting Amazon.
Oh, you're, I'm sorry.
Well, there's
Good thing
a,
there's one here today.
Brennan has all his products on there.
Brennan, who's Brennan?
The white socialist.
Yeah, but none of us, okay. This is the book. It's about, and I don't even have what Linda told me in here. She probably knew a lot. She probably knows a lot more than me. You have to write a book about it too. But this is, a blow-by-blow account of what we've put up with for 30 years. It's been a government that's been not at all responsive to the pollution that we've suffered on Perdido Bay. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Let me add, my dissertation was on the Finn Holloway and Buckeye.
Oh, was it? Oh,
So-
yeah, well, that's another horror story. Yeah, right. So, I mean, yes, yes.
Thank you, Jackie.